other, but not understanding.
No.
We have to come to a common understanding when we talk about God.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So we can skip that part. So God created
Everything.
Everything, the variables from the beginning.
Everything.
Okay. Do we need to go back to God?
No, we know God.
I'll leave you with him.
God is self-existing, uncreated. Okay, if we understand that concept, then we can move on to Him creating everything, including space-time and the planets, the galaxies, everything.
A to B.
Yes.
Do you believe in universe expansion?
I believe the universe is expanding. Yeah.
Okay. And do you believe there was a first starting point?
There was
a starting point
of the universe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why you wouldn't believe
We
it.
will be asking a
It's okay,
question.
just ignore him.
Okay,
Why you did not disassociate yourself
Carry on,
from Abu Qasim, who's a convicted terrorist,
Focus here, it's alright.
Okay.
Focus.
2 weeks ago, and why you knew
If you
about
focus
the
here
fact
and ignore
that
him,
he
if you can manage to do that, that'll be easier.
Alright, let me just.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. Yeah.
So if we agree A to B and universe that those set variables created, then can we reason that everything was based on these set variables that God created?
And I will not be going nowhere.
Okay, which variables you have to define them?
So Big Bang, do you believe in Big Bang?
I believe that there was this something that God originated with, whether you want to call it Big Bang or something. Yes. So the universe had an origin. The universe had a cause. Yes.
Yes.
And we believe that God is the one who created the universe and everything else. Okay. And can we now move on from there? What is the point you're trying?
Okay.
Do you believe that, by the way? Do you believe that the universe had an origin?
No, I don't know.
What are we talking about then?
I'm asking you.
So what if he's agnostic?
I'm asking you because you believe.
I've already told you
in A to
several
B.
times the universe was created by God.
You believe
at
in-
some point in time.
You believe in A to B.
I believe in some point of time God created the universe. I mean, I can't get any more clear than that.
So why would everything not be caused by the? If you agree everything was from a starting point and the universe has been expanding, why can't you select from this point and go to this point and agree that everything that was caused from there was from this point? Does anyone get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you're trying to say that the time started with the origin of universe. Is that what you're trying to say?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
You're saying that everything happened and then cause and effect, and then we got
Yeah,
to
cause
here.
and effect.
Yeah, so cause and effect. So what caused the first Big Bang?
That I'm asking you. It's not about who created cause, because I'm acknowledging your process of you believing in God.
Okay, I believe in God. I believe God created at a particular time the universe. What is your question after that?
Is the point of free will? If you believe in cause and effect, how can you say that there is free will?
What has cause and effect got to do with free will? Where's the link between the two?
Because if your actions are determined from beforehand, how could you say you have free will?
Determined by whom?
By the previous point in time.
No, we don't believe the time determines our actions.
But you believe in A to B, a linear pathway.
That's why I asked you, what do you understand by predetermination?
You believe in A to B.
My friend, I believe time, yes. I believe time is a creation of God. I believe space is a creation of God. I believe in the space-time continuum. That means both of them are kind of together, yes, and linear, yes. Now, where does predetermination come in this?
Because you believe in cause and effect. The cause was God, correct? Then
For me, yes.
Yes.
What is it for you?
it's irrelevant.
It
right
is
now.
very relevant because
No,
you're
it's
the
not.
one asking questions.
No, it's not, because I'm trying to dismantle your thought.
Yes, you're trying to what?
I'm trying to dismantle your argument.
Dismantle my argument. I didn't make any arguments. You asked me questions.
Your
I answered
argument-
it based on that.
Your argument is you believing in God.
My friend, you're the one who came and you wanted to ask a question. What is the question you want to ask?
Mike,
Is it about predetermination?
it's about whether
No, let's
Islam-
let's break it down. Is your question about predetermination? Yes or no?
yes.
Okay. So what do you understand from my perspective is predetermination?
So
Who predetermines? Who is a
God-
predeterminer
God-
in my worldview?
God determined the universe to start.
No. About predetermination. Who predetermined things in my worldview?
God.
Good.
Yes.
Now, do you believe in predetermination?
That's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to me, because you're gonna try and attack my view.
I'm not attacking your view. You didn't tell me your view yet.
Exactly. That's
How can I attack your view?
Because I literally said right now, if I told you, you'd try and attack it.
Oh, so you don't want to tell me that's the reason?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's relevant.
Remain safe, no problem.
Yeah.
I won't attack anything if you don't want to reveal it, no
It's
problem.
fine.
Okay, look,
That's the whole
I believe
point.
in the creator,
Yes,
I
you
believe in
just
the
said that.
creation, and I
Just
believe
said
in
that.
predetermination.
Just said
So where is your objection here?
the objection was of cause and effect being, meaning free will doesn't exist. If cause
Why?
and effect, if cause and effect is you believe in cause and effect,
Yes.
then free will can't
Are you
exist.
saying because everything is predetermined?
Yeah,
how
there's
do we
no
have
cause and
free will?
effect.
Yes.
Is that what you're
That's
saying?
his question.
Okay,
everything's
so
predetermined, how do
when
we
you
have free will?
do you believe? I believe that we as humans have consciousness. Yes. Do you believe the same?
Yeah.
You believe in consciousness? Is consciousness something that you can see? You can have. You can observe in a laboratory. How do you know you have consciousness?
Okay, you can absorb consciousness if an organism is making choices, then
Then what?
That is sentience.
Well, an artificial intelligence can make choices.
Okay, but
Does it have consciousness?
exactly.
What do you mean exactly? Does it have or not? Does a
Well,
robot with artificial intelligence, which can make choices based on the programming, yes, does it have? Does
Yes.
it have consciousness?
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't think you know what's consciousness.
I think because my belief is our brains are equivalent as machines. That's my.
Our
thought.
brains are not machine, bro.
Okay.
Our brains are much more, what do you say,
Alright.
complex than the most complex computers in the world today.
Okay.
All right. Your eyes are more complex than the best lenses out there.
Okay. But
What do you mean? Okay.
Because-
Do you think the
because
consciousness in you came from nothing?
You're not. Can you just listen to me? Just listen. A to B. Was this point?
You have been doing A to B to C for ages now.
Yes, but you're not understanding.
I am understanding. What you're defining is the linear time. Then where does predetermination come in this equation?
Can someone hold their fist up here? Can you hold your fist up here? Right? Everyone's this point was caused by this point. Yes.
Say this point was what?
This point was caused by this stop.
This
time.
fist was caused by this fist.
This is A. This is B.
Okay.
Yes.
And
So if we reverse time, we go back to the start. Do we agree everything? If we reverse it, then there's a linear pathway, correct? Either way, there's linear. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right.
I'm trying to understand cause and effect
Yes.
and predetermination. Where are we getting to with this point?
My point is, if everything is based on A,
Yeah.
how can you say you have free will? Because everything, if all of the particles are everything, if you pause time right now, there's a certain particle placement. Can we agree?
Particle placement. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay.
And what is the point of that?
So that
What's that
means-
got to do with predetermination?
So continue time. We reach this point.
Yeah.
So that means if we pause time, that alignment of particles has led to this to this section.
Okay. And
So therefore, all of these particles mean all of these particles mean that free will.
you haven't thought it through, have you?
Yes, I have.
You haven't.
Yes, I have.
Okay. So if let's say, for example, a plan, an architect makes a plan. Yes. And the plan is executed perfectly by the builders. Yes. So the plan was to create a skyscraper. It was as a blueprint before. Yes, the architect thought it through, and then there were some people who basically constructed the skyscraper. Yes. You can bring cause and effect in there. You have a plan in there. Yes, and it was executed perfectly. And now we have got the tower built perfectly. Okay. God designed the world similarly. Yes, God had a plan, and then it was executed, and here we are today. So every action that we do, every action that the tree does, every action that the sun and the moon does, yes, is something all that was predetermined before. Yes, so God knew about this because neither time nor space he's subject to it, it applies to him. It was all something that was planned. Now, you're saying that, how is that not free will? Yes? Let me ask you this. That was the reason I asked you the question the first time. When you came to this park, yes, do you believe somebody forced you to come here?
No.
Good, so it was free will?
No.
If it wasn't forced, it wasn't free will, then what was it?
Particle placement.
Yeah, who decided to place those particles from
the
A to B?
start of time.
No, but who decided that? Did you have any...
That's what I'm saying. According to your belief.
No, I'm talking about you. Now I'm talking
my
about,
personal
yeah,
belief.
it's not your belief. It's about your perception of free will. I want to understand that. Because maybe it's possible that we are talking cross purposes. We both are talking the same thing, but we are talking cross purposes. That's why I want to know from your worldview, what do you consider to be free will?
Free will is to make actions that are not based on
That are not
on
forced.
previous choices.
That are not forced.
That are not forced.
Yes.
Based on time, because if you base it on time, then me hitting the floor right now was based on my action
Exactly.
and my thought.
Exactly.
There was some subconscious choice in my brain.
Well, I
that
don't know
made
if
me
it's
hit on the floor.
subconscious. I think you came here consciously with your own choice and with
my-
your own free will.
I think I had a choice, but in fact I didn't.
How do you know that? Did
Because-
somebody force you?
No. Look, what he's saying
Is what?
Your belief is that.
No, I'm talking about you guys now.
Yeah,
Did you,
yeah,
when you
okay,
came to the park?
Let me say what he's trying to say.
Okay, go on.
Look, so he's trying to say that if me a week ago, if God had planned for me to be here right now a week ago.
No, forget God now because you guys don't believe in God.
No.
So you can't say.
That's what I'm saying from your perspective.
No.
Your view.
Remember, you were explaining from his perspective just now.
Yeah, I know.
You said
that-
I'm
no,
going to
no,
tell
no,
what he's
I'm
thinking.
saying his point.
Okay, what is his point?
His point is that you see a week. Okay, no. I'll take a week in the future. God knows exactly where I'll be and what I'll be doing 1 week in the future.
Yeah, God knows everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and He
Because
knows what
of
I am
placement.
here now.
Yeah.
But then what he's trying to say is what leads me to there is my actions and my choices, and that's free will. But if that is that's what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, if that's
But you
free
believe
will-
that's free will, right? You believe that's free will. Your choices and your actions are based on your free will. Am I right?
Free will. I don't know if free will is the right word.
That's the reason I asked, what do you understand by free will? Because we might be talking cross purposes without realizing it. So when you talk about free will, what is it that comes to your mind and your mind?
free will is a construct.
It's a construct, so you don't think it's real.
Yeah, I don't think it's real.
So as an agnostic person, you don't believe in free will at all. So every action of yours is determined by whom?
by the set point. But we don't know
Wait, what do you mean set point?
the start of time.
Yeah, but time has got nothing to do. Are you saying time determines your actions?
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what
So
I'm
you're
trying to say.
saying what you're talking now is something based on just what time is telling
Yeah,
you to
yeah.
do.
He's saying
It's
time has
not-
consciousness, and
Ti-
that's what pretty much you're now saying.
Yeah, every single particle placement, because we are made out of particles, right?
And?
If we go to a supermarket, we can get every single compound, every single chemical, every single thing that's made of our body, right?
Okay, so you're made of molecules and atoms
Yes.
and what?
And those molecules are controlled by time, correct?
No, absolutely not.
Because
Absolutely not.
It's not a conscious being.
Exactly.
Controlling.
No, it's not something
Time is just a
physical.
change.
Okay, let me rephrase. Time restricts the particles.
No,
because-
time is only the difference from point A to point B. So for example,
Okay,
you
but-
might have a body right now, you know, your cells are regenerating every time. So maybe when you were young, yes, your body wasn't the same. Your body has now grown, even though it's still your body, it has grown now. You see, so from time of your childhood to the time of your teens, maybe, you have grown in size. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Do you think that time was the one who actually made you grow? Or time is the factor that you see that you have grown from childhood, so it's just a measure of point A to B. It's just a concept actually. Do you know that? Time itself is a concept, and time is what determines your difference between your childhood to your teen, to your adolescence, and maybe to your adulthood later on. But this is what I'm saying.
But you
But
believe
you
in the
cannot
concept
say,
of time.
wait, you cannot say that time was the factor which was responsible for your body changes. Your body changes are for your chemicals or your biology or your physiology which has changed. But it wasn't. The time is just a measure of from point A to point B how your body has changed. Time had nothing to do physically with your body whatsoever.
Time is not like they're controlling
Yeah.
you, telling you.
Why not?
that-
What-
You know, because you know when we tell our children
believe
to
in-
do a certain action, they do it because they obey us as our children obey us. Well, most of them at least. Yes, the parents. So we are actually somehow telling them what to do, and they are obeying us. So you see that change in their action is based on what we instructed them.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the computers. You know, when you
What
actually
about-
program a
what about
computer,
God?
they follow certain instructions and they go. But you cannot say time is not
But is
something
it
like you
God
said.
that's instructed
Time doesn't
me
have
to do stuff?
consciousness like the way you have consciousness.
Is it God that's instructed me to do stuff? Though?
No, God tells you to do certain things. Now it is up to you to obey or to reject God's commandments, and that is what we call the difference
But
between.
God knows if I'll reject them.
Yeah, of course God knows.
Okay.
And what is the point? If God knows, it's like your teacher who's been teaching you for the whole entire year, Yes, she knows in your class who's going to fail and who's going to pass based on how hard or
Why would
how hard they work and how much they run.
Why would God make me reject him?
No, you're the one rejecting.
Yeah, but
So,
he made me.
Listen,
and he made
God
me
gave you
do
certain
everything.
He
faculties.
knows if you're going to reject or not. But
He
it's down
knows,
to
but
you.
he hasn't decided.
No, it's down to you with your
Okay,
free
but
will.
if he knows what's gonna happen next week and everything in the rest of the world, then I can't change that.
No, but it's down to us.
My
Our
friend,
actions
it's
are
like the
decisions.
example of the teacher and
I
student.
know, but look,
But
if-
he's all-knowing. That's the point I'm trying to make.
yeah, he's
So
all
it's
knowing.
down to you.
Hear me out. Look, I'll give you an example. You might understand better with that. Imagine there's a teacher. Well, there's.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
What am I saying?
I just mean that
What am I saying?
you're saying that God knows everything, and God knows what I'm gonna decide, but He doesn't decide what I'm gonna decide.
No, he doesn't basically force you to
Yeah,
decide.
exactly, that's
He
exactly
doesn't
what
force you. So, for example, if God wants to
Use a
give you,
different word.
if God, I let you because you're saying the same thing over because
No, I'm
you're not
I
letting me
haven't said
finish.
the same thing once.
You did not let me finish the parable with which you'll be able to understand this whole concept very easily. Yes.
Okay, we
If
can't
if a teacher in a class knows the
Yeah.
good students from the bad students, yes, and the teacher says for certain these students who are not working hard are going to fail.
Yeah.
The teacher knows this.
Yeah.
When the test comes, yes, and they have given the test, and when the results come, the teacher knows that these are exactly the students that he had pinpointed to be failing. Now, whose fault it is that they failed? The teachers who knew they were going to fail, or the students who did not
but
work hard that they
The
failed?
teacher didn't know that before they started working on it.
No, I'm saying from the year before the test, the teacher knew who was going to fail before the test, because throughout the year he has been with them, so he knew before the test was given who amongst the students are going to fail, because he knew that they were not working hard. Now wait. The question is this: now, would you blame the teacher for the failure, or would you blame the students for
I'd
the
blame
failure?
the student for the
Exactly.
failure. That's not what I'm saying. Look,
Exactly.
I'm not
So even though the teacher knew this, yes,
yeah,
you cannot blame him.
I understand.
Same thing with God,
I
my
agree.
friend. Same thing
I
with
agree.
God.
Yeah.
If God gave you certain
Yeah,
commands
I
and
agree.
certain
That's what I
instructions, and if
understand.
you
I agree.
willingly reject them,
Yeah.
after it's become clear
yeah,
to
I know
you,
what you're saying.
you cannot blame God.
Yeah.
Okay, now,
I can leave. Actually, wait. Do we have to leave right now?
Now finish your point.
did you understand the concept of
Yeah.
test? Because you see, this world is a test.
Yeah.
We have things which are good things and bad things in our life.
If God knows that we're going to rebel, if God knows that we're going to rebel before He creates us, why would He then create us?
So that on the day of judgment, you cannot say that God, you didn't give us a chance.
No,
This is your chance now.
but if He created us, and
Your
He-
life is 60, 70, 80, 100 years.
Wait.
I think that is enough time for you to prepare for the test. Yes?
yeah.
And
But
if you
but
still
if He
fail
already
to
knows
reject,
that we're going to fail the test,
no.
then
If,
why would He create us
Look,
to
look.
fail the test?
because like I just told you, on the day of judgment, you will say, if God puts you on the day of judgment in hellfire, yes, you will say, God, you didn't give us a chance. You didn't give us a chance
No,
to
that's not what I'm saying.
prove ourselves.
Thinks that somehow, even if he knew, it wouldn't affect free will. That's what he thinks. Even
Wait,
if
what?
he knew,
Wait, say that
even
again.
if he knows that what you're going to do is not going to affect your free will. That's what he believes, right?
Because just like
Yeah.
nobody
I know
forced you guys to
exactly.
come to the park here today,
No,
yes,
exactly.
you will still have to realize that this was by your own free will that you came here.
No, but that's not what,
No
I'm
one
asking.
forced you to come here.
No, that's not what I'm asking. Look, if God knows I'm gonna fail,
Yeah.
wait, does God know? when
God
He
knows
creates
everything.
me-
God knows everything about the
Okay,
future.
Okay. If God knows when He creates me,
Yeah.
what my judgment is gonna be,
Yeah.
does He know that?
Yeah, just like the teacher knows who's going to fail and who's going to pass.
Okay.
What teacher? How is the teacher?
Because you were not listening that time. When I was giving the example, you were not listening. He understood it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
A teacher who's been teaching the class for a whole year knows which students are going to pass and who's going to fail. Even though the teacher might not be.
No, that's not true at all.
Let me finish. Even though the teacher might not be 100% correct all the time,
Yeah.
but God is 100% correct, because in his case it's not just assumption.
Yeah.
In his case it
But
is
the
something which is
teacher didn't
definite.
create the
thinks.
students.
He thinks.
That's
The teacher thinks.
So it
doesn't
it's
know.
not.
That's why I said it's an assumption from the teacher.
No, but you said no. You didn't say
What do you mean
assumption.
no? I said even though it's not 100%
No,
in the
I
case of the
understand
teacher
what
all the
you're saying.
time.
Makes
Beforehand, you're contradicting.
Yeah, he understood the point anyway. If you want to understand God being the cause
I
and
understand.
this is the effect
Yeah.
basically,
But-
then you have to realize that God has already told you and me what is going to be good for you and what is going to be bad for you.
Exactly,
But if you
exactly.
consciously decide that I'm going to reject even God's existence,
but
then who is to blame, my friend?
Listen. If God knows creating me
Yeah.
that I'm gonna get sentenced and go to hell, why would He then create me?
Because everyone who thought like that, somewhere in their lifetime said, no, I think I have to change my ways. And now I'm going to be...
but
Wait
creating me,
a
you're
minute.
saying through their lifetime.
Yeah, but you know God has a right to create you. You cannot tell God whom to create and whom not to create.
I know.
So who are you?
I'm asking
You
why
cannot
would
even determine whether you have consciousness or not in a laboratory. You think you're a bunch of atoms and molecules.
No, I didn't
Yes?
know that.
We literally are.
Yeah, I know,
We
but that
are.
is. But where is the consciousness? Is your consciousness molecules and atoms?
Yes.
Ah, that's why it's wrong. Because
That is where I am
that is,
wrong.
you know, you know what?
Major brain trauma, your consciousness can go.
Well, I don't know about
So
your
there's
traumas.
evidence that it
You should go to the
can
hospital if you got a
Yes,
trauma.
exactly.
Why don't you go and look up this phrase on the internet? It's called the heart problem of
Study
consciousness.
major brain trauma
Yes?
and see
Go
what's
and look it
happening
up.
there.
Why do the scientists still consider it to be the heart problem of consciousness?
This is the exact reason of like weed. Like it just fries your computer. Like,
What fries your computers?
like this is
Bad
my
electricity in your house?
point. If you're,
Okay, too many short circuits here. Look, I'm telling you, go and look up this phrase. It's called the heart problem of consciousness. You know why? Because consciousness is not something material. You can go and study in a laboratory. Yes, and you should know this. Okay, anyway, thanks for your time, guys.
Yeah.
Okay,
Nice talking.
take care, brother. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.